Alright, hell yeah, we got statics, this is Hibbler, and the PDF is in the description. So I'm just going to do a quick overview before we kind of tackle this problem, because this is ropes, and ropes can have tension only. So these forces can only be in, like, they can only have a positive magnitude. You can't push on a rope, and so a lot of these questions are like, okay, if I'm pulling with a force over here and pulling with a force over there, they want to know, and then we're pulling just from a specific point. So these are problems where if you're pulling on this little point, you can, and we're pulling with two different forces, you could say that's equivalent to that same point with a force just by adding these two vectors. So that's what we're gonna. That's basically what we're doing is vector addition. This vector, this magnitude, plus this magnitude, and in their directions, when we add them, we're going to get a vector. And if we're just adding tensions, then, you know what I mean? Well, I guess, let's say you could add let's say you could have negative 200 newtons, because this brings up the idea of if we add two vectors together, and let's just say they have to be positive. So if we're adding vector A to vector B and they're both in line, well, cool, you get a resultant that's this big. And yeah, we can kind of change their angles. So if I say we have vector A and then we have vector B, the resultant, using the parallelogram method, going this way and then this way, we're going to get a vector in that direction. And the magnitude of this is using the Pythagorean theorem. I come up with just a lot of different visual solutions to be like, hey, if these are about the same, then we're adding them together. This magnitude, is going to be about 1.5 times like the largest value. Or it's the square root of 2, which is 1.4 times whatever the value, especially if those are the same. Alright, so, and in this problem, we're going to be, let's slow down. Oh yeah. So let's say I can't change these angles. Now I want to know where the resultant can be. Can the resultant be up in this quadrant? Probably not, because these are both, kind of in the down direction. And could it be over in this quadrant? No, because they're kind of both in that direction. So now we have to, and then they can't be negative. Like I said, I can't push on these. So this vector can't be this way, so it can't be up in that quadrant. So even just like right now, did we break it down where it has to at least be in this quadrant, and then let's break it down farther. Is it possible for the vector to be this direction or to be this direction? And I don't think so. The parallelogram method basically says that if we add this to this, we would be going this direction and then that direction, or we'd be adding this and then adding that, and then we would have a resultant that would be in between these. So that's one graphical way to do it. You would have A plus B, and then your resultant's going to be somewhere in between. Parallelogram method is like that. Or you could do even tail, we could say this is B, and we could do the tip to tail, or tip to tail is this. This is the tip to that tail, start the new vector. And A plus B, and this is going to be the resultant. But in those cases, so if these have to be positive, the resultant, the direction of it, has to be somewhere in between those 2 points. And we can even say, well, could it be anywhere in between these points? And sure, because we can change the magnitudes of these. I can say that this is 500 newtons, this direction, and let's just bring it down to here. Let's say this is 500 newtons, but let's make this like 1 newton. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I have to be parallel with this, so I'm going to be going in this direction like 1 newton. Just hardly anything at all. And there you go. There's my angle. There's going to be my resultant's going to be right there, and it's going to have a representative angle to there. So as this approaches a very small, let's say it's 0.1 newton, then basically that angle is going to be about 70. Same thing is true if I go this way. If I say this is 200 newtons this way, but then this is only going to be 1 newton. So I'm going to be going in that representative direction. I'm going to go 200 newtons this way, and then I'm going to go 1 newton that way. Okay, so now my resultant vector is right there, and as this approaches, 0.1 newtons, 0.01 newtons, as this approaches 0, hell yeah, then my angle is going to be 30 degrees. So there you go. So that kind of shows that the angle of the resultant has to be in between those two. And I guess I just wanted to do a quick little video explaining that. I should do another video to be like, well, if I could actually have a negative, if I could have a negative 200, well then, can't my resultant be anywhere? And the answer is yes. So that's cool. If I just have positive, if I can just pull tension on these, and these angles can't change, my resultant has to be in between this window. You know what I mean? It could be way the hell there to infinity, or way the hell here to infinity, or just anywhere in between, but it has to be in between that little quadrant. Now, again, if I could actually push compression on this, and this is the direction of this force vector, but it could be negative 200, well then I would be going 500 this way, and I'd be going in this direction. And because of that, I might be getting ahead of myself, because if only one of these is able to take compression, we have a steel bar here, but we still have a tension there. I don't know. I don't know if the case is it could hit every quadrant. I know if both these members can experience positive tension and compression, then sure, the resultant could be anywhere in a 360 degrees. So we'll do more problems with this one, but I do want to get on to kind of solving this from an estimation perspective. So thanks for joining me, and that's a video.